Hello and welcome to a very important political episode of whatever the hell it is I do. I am here with an off the wall suggestion that I think will unite America and perhaps save the world. So let's get right to it. Here's what I think we need to do as a country, and Democrats will agree and Republicans will agree. Here we go. Boom! Tom Hanks for president. Tom Hanks for president. Now you might say, that's crazy. He's a celebrity. He doesn't know politics. That's good. That's why I want him to be president. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves him. It's Tom Hanks. No baggage, no problem. Okay, let's go on. Let's move on with this. Americans love Tom Hanks. All of them. All of them. Well, a vast majority anyway. He's got a likable, everyman demeanor. He's known for being charming, funny, and nice. He sends typewriters to people who talk to him for some reason. He loves typewriters. He's charming. He's quirky. Everybody loves him. And no matter how old you are, whether you're a kid, you can love Woody. Whether you're, older, you can love Apollo 13 or Saving Private Ryan. He's played great American heroes. He's got all these characters people love. And because Americans aren't able to tell the difference between fact and fiction, they're going to love him because they remember those characters. That's going to work in his favor. Okay? Americans love celebrities in general. Regardless of actual qualifications for office, we tend to gravitate and exalt political candidates who just have the most name recognition. We got Arnold, who got into office. We got Trump, who had no political experience, but he's famous, and so he rose to the top of the Republican ticket off of no experience. Joe Biden, everyone had heard of him, became president even though no one really liked him that much. Hillary Clinton had the Clinton name, boom, you become candidate. Look, we got a Bush who's not even that smart, but because he's got a Bush in his name, people are like, well, he's a Bush. We had a Bush before. It must work. Tom Hanks is better than that because he's more famous than all of these people combined. Well, maybe not Arnold. Arnold's probably the most famous. But he wasn't born in the country. He can't be president. Tom Hanks is our dude. He's an American. That's the key. People are more likely to support someone familiar whose name they already know. More famous candidates tend to get outsized media coverage, which means it's a snowball effect. People are going to be talking, can you believe Tom Hanks is running for president? He's going to dominate everything. He's going to get the most name recognition. He's going to win. It's just that easy. One thing that's important to remember, this is true, Americans are tired of Washington elites. There's as many Democrats and leftists who hate Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer as there are Republicans at this point. Voters from both parties want outsiders. They want candidates who are not part of the blob, the Washington groupthink. They want someone who's unconventional. And even though these two seem to have nothing in common, AOC and Trump, they're both outsiders who use plain speech to speak to people about the issues that they care about, and their rebellious nature made them beloved to those same people. We want fuck the system candidates, and even though Tom Hanks is charming and not a very fuck the system guy, the fact that he's not a Washington elite and doesn't have experience in politics and is just an aw shucks guy that everyone loves, that's going to help him. It's going to be seen as an asset, not a detractor. Okay. Perception trumps reality. Now I'm talking about Trump as the verb, not just Trump as the president there. But even though Trump, the president, is known for being a wealthy celebrity, so you might think he was an elite, right? People didn't care because his bluntness and anti-intellectualism made his fans think of him as an honest, down-to-earth guy who told it like it is, rather than talking down to them like candidates who are very condescending and highfalutin in their language. That's the same thing that Tom Hanks can do. He literally played America's neighbor, Mr. Rogers. And even though Hanks is a rich celebrity, his natural charisma and charm and everyman personality and plain manner of speech would allow him to reach voters who might otherwise think of him as a coastal elite. These are the pros, I think, for President Hanks. A vast majority of Americans, they already know who he is and they like him already. He's been in the spotlight for decades and he's avoided scandal for just as long. He's always been lovable. Even when he's got movies that bomb, he still has so many that have succeeded, it's never taken him down. He's resilient. He would deliver the best campaign speeches. Imagine a Tom Hanks presidential speech. How can you hate that? Very few other candidates would be able to compete with him on a speech and debate level because he's so charismatic. His popularity would mean people would be rushing to the cabinet. He could pick whoever he wanted for this cabinet, and people would be like, hell yeah, President Hanks. So even if he doesn't have experience, he could get a team of experts like that. His Hollywood connections would make fundraising a breeze, so no problem with the money end. Now, here are the cons and counters, and we're using a bomb Tom Hanks performance right there. He's not perfect, but that just makes him more of an everyman. He's inexperienced, right? Pro and con in a way, because he doesn't have experience, but he doesn't have baggage. He's not some old Washington Joe Biden-esque figure. He doesn't have all of these votes that you can throw back in his face. Trump wasn't very experienced either, and it would be easier for Tom Hanks to assemble experts than even it was for Trump because he's even more popular than Trump across both sides of the aisle. A president's most important quality, more so than political experience, is the ability to lead and unite the country, both of which Hanks is capable of doing because everyone already likes him. They already think of him as a leader in their own way. He's a leader of Hollywood. We don't know Tom Hanks' politics. This is another con. But again, this could be an asset because he has no baggage regarding his politics, and he can't be seen as flip-flopping if we're just learning what he believes for the first time. And I can't see him taking some crazy leftist stances. He's probably going to say things that I think help every average American. And because he's a skilled performer, speechwriters write for every president, and he'll be the best at delivering it. Some more cons and counters. Dummies like Ted Cruz will likely call him Forrest Gump to try to discredit him. This is easily countered with the catchy slogan, better Gump than Trump. His son, Chet Hayes, is kind of a knucklehead. This could be an asset in a way, too, because while Republicans are dunking on Chet Hayes, everyone else is like, well, yeah, his son might be dumb, but we all have a dumb, relative somewhere along the way. So who cares? This will help distract from Tom, because Tom is hard to make fun of, but Chet, easy sponge for that. Chet could also draw in some of the Republican voters who are kind of douchey white guys. Douchey white guys can relate to Chet, and this means we can reach across the aisle in that way. Everybody loves Tom. This is the most important point. Even if you don't care about politics, you probably like at least one Tom Hanks movie, which means people who don't care are like, hell yeah, Tom Hanks, I'm voting for him. All presidential candidates have speechwriters. We talked about this. Hanks would be the best at delivering those messages. He has fans on both sides of the aisle, which means he actually stands a chance of uniting the nation in a way that other presidents couldn't because they're so partisan. He's more popular than any traditional candidate in either party that we have available right now. He's more popular than Trump. He's more popular than definitely anyone who's an old school Democratic politician. Who could even beat him if you ran him? I can't think of it. This is why I think Tom Hanks is the best. Elect President Hanks. After so many shitty presidents and pointless political feuds, he's the guy we deserve. Let's give thanks for Hanks. Let me know what you think. Let's bully him into becoming president. What do you say? Tom Hanks for president. Let's do this. Let's do it!